Welcome to the next episode of my channel. So today I have a special guest, someone who's gone through the experience of being activated in light language. So if you don't know what it means, today we're going to talk all things light language and our journeys. So welcome, Justin.
Thank you, Megan, for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, great. So good to have you. And what I wanted to talk about mainly to start off is to go through your journey because I know I watched your last podcast, and
Mhm.
that was actually only last year in November. And I wanted to know a bit more about your journey through with light language and the whole how it's changed you, how you felt with it coming through your body, and yeah, going through how it's changed your life.
Yeah, so there was a time, probably September, October last year. I met this amazing, beautiful person that had attended the practitioner course from Natalie Patterson of the Light Codes TM practitioner course. And she introduced me to an Instagram live transmission of generational trauma and healing, which I actually went through last year of 2024 within my family bloodline, which was a very powerful experience. And the watched the live, and two nights after that, um, I was in between awake and asleep, and all of a sudden I felt this pop or mechanism pop in the back of my head. Um, I'm like, and I screamed out, "What the fuck was that?" um, and I didn't do anything because I couldn't move, and
Mm.
I felt like I was being held down. Um, and yeah, tried to get up and do everything I could to, move or whatever. But I couldn't wake up or anything. So just all of a sudden dozed back off to sleep. And then I started to ask people, and the next morning I felt completely different. And I started to ask people what it was, and it's apparently it had to do with something about spiritual elves. So they're like you know, little divine beings. It's like it was an activation or initiation, I guess, within my. I'm not sure exactly, but it was right in the middle of my neck, um, near the pineal gland. Or the pineal gland. I'm not sure exactly where, but um, yeah, it was some sort of initiation and hadn't felt the same since. And then, um, yeah, I was very intrigued by this light language, thing, whatever it was. And I wasn't skeptical at all because my soul yearns for growth and wanting to know who I am and why I'm here. And I've always been, this mystical person about, not just magic in general, but, healing, the healing side of things too. So attended the first Light Codes practitioner course, probably I think it was a couple of days after the podcast that I was on, which went on for 4 days, this course. And the energy in the room was absolutely phenomenal. I never felt anything like that before. Um, and I found it hard to, I guess, be in my own energy in some way because it was so overwhelming with all the people's energy and the high vibrational energy within the room, especially when it's like 99.9% of women in the room too. um, it's very rare for a man to, I guess, immerse himself in a healing modality.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, so I was all about what was being presented and all about the higher mind and galactic consciousness and healing people on the quantum level. And around the third day, I started to get frustrated because I wasn't being activated in light language. And there was a point where Natalie Patterson's team members went on stage and explained that um, everyone's, I guess, activation happens when their soul is ready.
Mm. Yeah.
So I was pedestaling uh, um, light language,
Um,
and
sorry, third day.
yeah, on the third day,
Um,
yeah, and I wasn't, I guess, being one with it.
Mm.
And I was going toward it, not, meeting it halfway.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, near the end of the third day, we're all, I guess, around the stage and just standing there. And then everyone, like, it was another activation of light language. I think we did like within the 3 days, it was probably 4 or 5 light language activations that Natalie and the team members did around us.
Yeah, I think so. At least 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, um, yeah, I was just, standing there closing my eyes. I'm like, right, come on, come on. All of a sudden, I just had this wave of emotion of unconditional love and a remembrance of some sort of a knowing.
Mhm.
And I remember that I was having these flash visions of, ancient Egypt hieroglyphs the day before. And
Mhm.
then that day when I got, started to get activated, um, it was just a wave of overwhelming, profound energy that was all love. And it's very hard to describe, but all I remember is my hands started to slowly move up and then started, moving my hands
Yeah. Mhm.
because it's very, I guess, I think I resisted in some way because, moving your hands around and just doing that doesn't seem normal to people, if that makes sense. But when you're in a room with people that are doing that and activated in light language, I guess there's a safety net
Yeah.
around that to fully express yourself. So I allowed that to come through, and then I wasn't speaking at all yet, but I started humming, and
Mm.
then my hands started moving whilst I was humming. I'm like, yes, this is it, this is it. And then after you know the course, I still wasn't fully activated speaking the light language.
Mhm.
So I was just on the computer on the PC and just doing some things for my other business that I do. I started listening to activations with JJ on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
love her.
yeah, she's amazing. She's got so many, like it's crazy. But the one I specifically listened to was like a dragon light language activation, and within 3 minutes of listening to it, my spoken light language just started to come through. I'm like, wow. And I couldn't stop for like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
And was
Just
that, sorry, was that after you finished the whole training, the 4 days,
yeah.
or?
Yeah, it
uh,
was after it. It's probably
yeah.
about a week or two after it.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, because I was hoping that I'd be activated within the first or second day, but
Mm.
it's not, it's only when your soul is ready. And this is the thing, I pit pedestaled it so much that I kept pushing away without even knowing. So yeah, and then um yeah, all of a sudden I started speaking my soul's origins language, and it was absolutely beautiful. I just, yeah, and I all my eyes out. All I can
Oh,
remember was just talking and then, tasting the salt in my mouth because of my tears.
oh yeah.
um, but yeah, that experience was absolutely amazing. And from then on, leading up to the present moment now, um, a lot has shifted with expressing my full authenticity, the certainty of my soul, the knowingness of my soul. And it's, I've fully allowed it to surrender and for it to come through. Um, and having a lot of downloads, a lot of visions, dreams as well, profound dreams that are meaningful. Um, and yeah, just energetically, it's just I can hold a lot more energetic capacity. So it's like, I guess, a energetic upgrade. Even though we got many energetic upgrades during the meditations that we did, especially in light codes too. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's just been. I just feel so powerful, but for the obviously for the good of all. And it's I wouldn't change anything else because I think probably like after my cancer journey, I I knew that I had some sort of gift where I can channel energy, and
Mm.
I can feel it in my hands, like when I'm just sitting there meditation and visualizing an energetic ball. Literally, what I'm doing now, I'm feeling the vibrations in my hand and the energetic field. Like when I push, there's resistance there, so there's like a big orb here. It's an inner knowing and I guess feeling intuitively. Not that I can visually see it, but I know it's there
Yeah.
because yeah, the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know the healings that I've done on people, especially with aligning with my soul's mission. Um, you know, it's the experiences energetically people have had experienced so far is absolutely powerful because it gets to the root cause of everything. I guess when physical ailments manifest in your physical reality, there's always a specific root cause and on the energetic field. Um, and to get, there's always layers that we have to unravel to get to that root cause, like peeling the onion layers.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so it's like when during an energetic healing, it's my soul talking to their soul, communication like that. Um, yeah, it's very profound.
Yeah, and thanks for just referencing past podcasts because I'm not sure if everyone listening would have known like your background and how the whole journey for yourself has been like through going through recovery from cancer and then moving into this and how
Mhm.
far it's really led you. So, has anything else changed from when you had the experience with the dragon like language activation and now? Has anything else shifted?
Yes, I guess the potency of my healings because I can speak because I think I did no, I didn't do any healings before the light language came, but with the light language that I speak, um it's like I'm another being is I guess telepathically communicating through me
Mm.
and expressing it out to someone else. And it's very, very interesting. Because us human beings are just transmissions and a conduit of energy. Coming from source, the cosmic realm, whatever you want to call it. And we, express that through our being, um, energetically. And with light language, it's you can awaken dormant DNA within the subatomic particles of someone else's avatar or human being.
Mm.
So I've had experiences where when I started speaking my light language, there was this one person, I won't name, but there was one person I was just laying there, and all of a sudden, as soon as I started speaking light language, the person she was laying down, and then all of a sudden she was half up like that. She was like this,
Oh, she said,
like shaking and all that. Yeah. So people have, different experiences and unique experiences, and everyone's different. But yeah, some people are very potent to it. And it's like I said, it's my soul talking to their soul. So it bypasses the physical vessel.
yeah. And
Mm.
would you say that you're experiencing, you said that it was like another being coming through your body. Would you say that's, I mean, would you say that is not, it's not completely channeling, but it's kind
Mm.
of like you're allowing this being to come through? Like,
Yes.
how would you describe? Yeah.
So it's either, higher self or divine beings telepathically communicating to you. Um, I I feel it's could be I feel it's like it's both, or could be one or the other. I'm not quite sure yet, but with I guess the articulation of higher self, it's your highest version of you, which is I guess your soul, um, your soul's origin or whatever it is, and yeah, it's not a weird feeling. It's a very comfortable feeling, but um, yeah, it's so hard to describe that the feeling of it, but I guess if I can put it into one word, um, feel like a wizard. There you go. Yeah, a wizard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
a real one, not a
no, no, yeah, the real
okay.
one. Yeah. Mm,
Um, yeah, so I like for me, like light language and the whole, especially after like Codes 2,
mhm.
that was when I started getting more of the vocal activations coming out.
Yep.
And it's become like a daily part of my life. So
Mm.
you, I'm sure. And how do you, what would you say to someone who's brand new and wants to try a healing session? Like what can you how can they prepare or what do they need to know?
Um, it just depends on them if they really want change in their life. So for things to change, they have to change. So if they're open to change, then by all means. But it goes more than the physical level. So basically, it's so on the quantum field, the energetic level, that whatever shifts on your energetic level, you can have a massive breakthrough or transformation from it. And if people are stuck within their life, either relationships, finances, um, or stuck in a rut, energetically, light language and light codes TM can actually shift those blockages within your life to have a transcendental and transformational experience and a massive breakthrough. Um, just like I've had massive breakthroughs consistently every time I do a light language healing.
Yeah.
Like it's because it's not me healing them in a way where we initiate healing. So basically, we're a vessel of that, pure divine source energy, and initiate healing through them. So for them to start their own innate healing, because the human body is so sacredly designed for us to heal ourselves innately. And we're just the vessel, that middle person to activate that within them. Um, and yeah, if they're looking for a breakthrough experience and transformation experience, or to clear some energy or alignments or anything like that, then literally anything if you can think of physically, energetically, we can move. Literally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I totally like I think it's like whatever you believe will work and you're
hmm
open to it, then it's
it
gonna
will.
shift. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
And the other thing was like throughout your healing journey, I'm sure you've come across different things, different learning. So what are you reading any particular books at the moment that you would recommend to people who, I mean, might not be light language or could be if you
hmm
found anything, any kind of books that will help people with understanding more about themselves.
Definitely. So there was two. So post stem cell transplant, there was two questions I asked myself, um, which activated, I guess, a spiral into certain books that helped me figure out who I am as a physical human being and why I'm here. Um, the two questions were, who am I and why am I here? And the four books that started this uh, breakthrough and transformation of finding out who I am and why I'm here and how I got to this present moment. So there's four books I would recommend. So Simply Quantum Physics.
Oh, yep.
I don't know the author of that one, but
Is it the
it just
DK
says
book?
DK book. There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
think I've got
Yep.
it here, but I haven't actually
Yep.
read it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
yeah, I tried to read that, but never finished.
Yeah.
It was so,
This is the thing. Some books don't align with us just yet. Like when you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton.
Okay, I've
That
heard of him. Yeah,
yeah, that really expanded my mind because it explained our cells of what they really are. And basically, we are how do I say this? Literally, our cells are a computer chip like liquid membrane kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, I'll just quickly explain it for people just so I can get it to, I guess, for people to understand.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, to break it down a bit more, like
yeah, because it's very, I guess, very important to for people to understand um their innate wisdom within their actual human body. Here we go. So, who's it? Yeah, here we go. We are basically computers that have the power to download what we want into our biology membrane of the cell. The membrane is a liquid crystal semiconductor with gates and channels, just as a computer chip. So this is directly in the book of The Biology of Belief. The Secret of Life. The point. A cell is a programmable chip whose behavior and genetic activity are primarily controlled by environmental signals, not genes. Um, we're literally walking computers that can alter our alter our belief. And every time you, I guess, talk to yourself, your cells are eavesdropping on you. So it's very important on what words you speak over yourself or what words people speak over you.
mm,
And the other book was The DNA Field and the Law of Resonance by Pierre Franck. Um, that was very expanding too because it talked about electromagnetic field around us, our heart. Every time our heart beats, it
mm,
creates electromagnetic field around us. I think 4 or 5 feet outward, like a toroidal field.
yeah,
Toroidal field, yeah. So this is the thing we I guess the way life is that we're constantly distracted by a lot of things, and this is what the world wants us to be, is distracted as human beings.
yeah,
When you sit and be human being, when you sit and be and do, go within, um, and say your, human design, your body, look, for example, I sometimes look at my hand and just go and just turn it like this. I go, who am I? You know what I mean?
mm,
And this thing, we don't question these things anymore. And I guess it's like being a kid again, being very curious, asking those curious questions, and being curious about life. Because the best work you can do is working on yourself, and finding out who you really are as a human being, on an energetic, vibrational, and frequency level. It's very powerful once you get to know and understand, because this is where your belief system gets trapped, is that you're so confined to the physical material world and all these distractions that you don't get to the root cause of who you are and why you're here. And so when you find out who you really are, you don't have limiting beliefs anymore, because you're a multidimensional divine being. And I've gone past limiting beliefs now. I don't have any limiting beliefs anymore. I've gone into the age of knowing. So
mhm.
just complete knowingness. Um, yeah, so it's very transformational when you go this deep within yourself to understand who you really are as a human being, past the skin, past this, like, to the cellular level.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
everything's quantum level, the things, that's within the space.
yeah. So good. You're in your, what I was thinking, that you're in your knowing era, like
Yeah.
your new identity. So
Yes.
um oh yeah, so I remember, well, yeah, we mentioned a little bit about quotes. So do you have any quotes that really stand out where, like, oh, that really hit you?
Definitely.
Mm,
So there was this one I came across when I was in WA when I went camping last year.
mm,
I don't know if it was a quote, but it was a sticker that someone put on the brick wall. I looked at it. I'm like, wow. So this brought me back to my, I guess, cancer journey. And it really hit me when I'm like, I'm wasting my time. I need to do things for humanity, because this is the quote. The things we take for granted, someone else is praying for. So at that moment, I thought to myself, wow, people in the hospital beds, diseases, illnesses, sickness, or can't walk, or,
Mm.
in a rut, they would literally, you know, someone would pray to be in my position, to be in your position, to anyone, to whoever's watching would be in their position. And this is the thing, we take life for granted in a way where, you know, I guess for me, it's something that I owe back to humanity and don't want to, I guess, waste my time with my life in a way where, I just sit back and do nothing because, I've healed from my cancer journey and that I my soul yearns to give back now to, the people, I guess, to, to give them, I guess, hope and faith, that, there's another way to heal themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm,
And
yeah.
very wise
Mm,
quote there.
yeah. Um, I'll just throw out another two. This
Oh,
could
yep.
probably hit someone at home. Change yourself and the world around you will change.
Yep.
And this is the quote I took into my cancer journey. So this could help other people through, whatever they're going through, which instilled a lot of belief within me
Yep.
at that time in 2020. No matter how hard it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
Mm.
So I told that myself every day going through
Yeah.
my journey. Yeah, and it was like, if you don't realize the struggles you are going through, I guess you have to realize the struggles you're going through because it's the universe speaking in ways it's telling you to, wake up and the things you need to change in your life.
Mm.
Especially with myself, like, I knew like I was in a particular pattern that needed to break, and the universe threw me that crazy journey. And this is the thing, we have to go through these things for our soul's growth and evolution. And if you don't realize and understand the patterns and cycles that keeps originating in your life, you're going to be stuck and there will be no breakthrough or transformation.
Yeah. And talking about beliefs, um, are you aware of what beliefs you had growing up, like when you were younger as a child? And
uh,
has
Go on. Yeah.
yeah, has that like have you had to change beliefs from, I know you talked about like you don't have any limiting beliefs now. Like are you so I just wanted to know like what were your beliefs when you were younger? Like
I was,
what were you told?
yeah, I was a very shy boy and put in a box. So, for example, I guess, I think majority of parents do this to their kids, they don't let them go too far and, walking or whatever, especially near the street, which is obviously reasonable.
Mm.
But I guess, I was programmed in a way where, you know, there was so many barriers. There's always talks where, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Um, but as you grow up, you can. This is the thing, we get from 0 to 7 years old, well, from when you were born to 7 years old, our subconscious mind is the most potent time. When we, I guess, um, receive those, I like the talks from our parents, and that's how we've been programmed, throughout our life from that point, 0 to 7 years old. Um, and then I guess life experiences teach you. You have to go through life experiences. There's no avoiding them. And when you go through certain life experiences, they teach you that nothing is limited. I guess you find that out as you go. So for me, with through my cancer journey, well, growing up and then cancer journey, and then now, I got to a point where I finally found out who I am and why I'm here, and the limitless potential I have. Once you really know who you really are, past the flesh of your human design. Um, so yeah, it's part of life. It's part of the process. There's no avoiding it. But if you really want to break your limiting beliefs, um, you know, you have to go through life experiences. There's no escape from it. It's part of life.
Yeah, well, I
Mm,
for me, like, because I work with this area, and um, I feel like sometimes, yeah, it does come up when you experience things in life. However, like it's painful,
mm,
and then you don't have to experience. I mean, like people experience these, so it comes up to the surface. However, a lot of the time we don't know what's going on. Like, oh, why does this keep happening?
mm,
And then that's what I do with my clients actually to uncover what it is and to change those beliefs. Because sometimes it's like so deep that you don't even realize that you're acting them out.
mm,
So yeah, for me, I'm like, no, it doesn't take years. It takes years because most of us don't even know how to
mm.
handle like that. Okay, I have no idea. I'm going to try something else, but yeah, so it's like reprogramming the unconscious and actually finding out what it is, like deep
Yeah.
down that emotion that's blocking, that's stopping you from moving forward,
Mm,
the beliefs. So
yeah.
yeah,
Especially the field you're in, like that's perfect because, it's you understand the dynamic of it and the depth of why I guess limiting beliefs are instilled within us.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And I had so much. So when I actually did the work, I realized I had so much, like in every part of life. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
patience, yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, so I wanted to actually go in. Oh, did you have another quote, or that was it?
Um, this is one of my favorite ones from the movie
Okay.
June. I'm not sure if anyone's seen
Oh
June.
yes, I've seen number two.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the first one. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite movie, hands down, one and two. The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience.
Okay.
Let
Yep,
go.
yep.
So
I've heard
completely
it.
surrender. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
you know what? That's funny you mentioned Dune because when I was like speaking my light language, it reminded me of that movie because you know how there's that tribe and they speak
Yeah.
language with the blue eyes.
The Fremen.
Yeah, so it kind of reminded me like, oh yeah, that it sounds like an ancient language, yeah, like an ancient like in within that kind of frequency
Mm.
that they don't understand. They understand it, but I'm also speaking an ancient language.
Yeah. It's such a powerful movie, like the depth of it, the spirituality of it. It's yeah. It's so like the water of life, the blue water that the woman drinks,
Mm.
yeah, and the boy drinks, yeah. I relate to that movie so much. It's beautiful. Resonate.
Yeah, is there a third one? There?
Apparently, there's a third one coming out, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched the first one. I just went into
Mm.
the second one straight away. That's what I
Oh,
do.
really?
Like,
Yeah.
I've never heard of the first one because it was such a long gap in between, I think,
Yeah.
the movie. So then I was like, oh, there's a chance to watch a movie. I'll just watch it. Like I haven't seen the first one. And
Mm.
yeah, back then I hadn't even been activating light language. It was just a thing that I watched, but then now I can connect like to what that
Yeah.
ancient tribe and they were speaking their language. And then it kind of connected to myself when I felt like, oh, it does sound a bit like that. Like,
That's so powerful, that. I love that. You have to watch number one. It's like a slow
okay,
burn of number two, but yeah,
okay,
it's
yeah.
still as powerful.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the quotes and the
That's
books.
right.
And I think maybe I will start reading the Simply Quantum Physics book.
Yeah, I'm only halfway through it. I just keep,
Like a
looking at
reference book, right?
yeah, it's like a photo book. It's kind of like a, kid's book in a way, but simply just simplifying quantum physics.
Yeah, and actually I've seen a book. It's called Quantum Physics for Babies. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
It's so funny, but yeah,
Yeah.
it simplifies like one concept. But I don't understand why it was written.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But maybe to, I guess, just bring it, I guess, for everyone to understand, I'd
yeah.
say. But simply quantum physics does that anyway. But yeah. Mm.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. What would you tell your younger self? So this is when you're a child, like knowing what you know now, is there something you would tell them?
Um, definitely. Definitely, definitely. Um, I was thinking about this before, and what came up was remain strong because the road is going to get very rocky
Mm,
without even knowing it. But yeah, just, the your life. I guess, yeah, the road's going to be very rocky, but your life will be extraordinary after that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm,
So good. Yeah, thank you, Justin. I think that's the questions I have today.
hmm
And really enjoy the conversation and went into some great wise learnings and your journey with light language. So I know this is only 2 months, 2 months
Yeah.
journey. So I'm really happy to have this conversation with you. And I also felt like the same with it's such a weird thing, right? Like for me, when I first found out about light language, I'm like,
Mm.
that I never imagined myself actually doing it. I'm just like here, like activation
Yeah,
here.
in
I'm
some
like,
way,
okay.
yeah, in some way as myself as well. Me too, yeah.
I felt like a part away from, well, what is it, like separated from it. And
Mm,
I was listening to her YouTube, like the videos from her, and I felt like some of them were really, like, I'll just listen and I would start crying.
mm,
So I knew there was something there. And but then I'm like, oh, I don't really understand how deep this can go and what I can potentially do with it. Like, because you just hear it's like, oh, it sounds nice, but then there's so much more. And now I am doing this, and yeah, it's there's just unlimited. It just feels unlimited in what
mm.
you can do with it,
Oh
and
yeah.
journey is just going to keep getting better as we keep going.
Well, it's gonna become big because there's a transition in the world now. The
Oh yeah.
2025, the golden age, and the great solar flash.
Okay.
Um, there's this thing on Instagram where it says it's like the awakening, and it's got like all the timeline events that's happened already, and that the next is going to happen.
Mm.
And light language is the return of the knowingness of who we really are
Oh,
as physical beings, like deep down
yeah.
past the physical self. So yeah, exciting things to come
Yeah.
for light language and the world. So
Great. Awesome. It's really good to have that positive outlook for the future.
definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Justin.
No worries, Megan.